Hello everyone, it's Jackie. I am here to kick off our social media, we'll call it a mini series. Over the next, let's see, 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to post a video every day. If you're not watching them when we post them, eventually we'll just have all of these put together in a series for you. But we're going to kind of focus every day on a different area of social media. Now, I'm kind of kicking it off with an intro. We're going to talk a little bit about how everything works together. And then I'm going to go in and talk a little bit about newsletters, about watermarks, and about graphics, because watermarks and graphics kind of carry into all of the other ones. I just want to start by saying social media is a necessary beast, I guess is the best way to put it. If you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and your goal is to build your business, especially if you want to build an online business, social media is the heart of it. Now that said, social media is probably one of the most difficult things that you need to learn as well. Now, unfortunately, I would have to be a social media expert, and so would all the other Creative 8 team members, to really teach you everything there is to know. You take just one part of it. If you want to take just, say, Facebook, it would take me hours and hours and hours and days to teach you everything about Facebook. And honestly, I don't know all of it. I only know about this tiny bit. I know enough to be dangerous is what I like to say. And that's kind of how I feel about all of these different platforms. So what we're going to do in this video series, it is not meant to make you an expert. It's not meant to teach you, like say you want to have a blog. You're not going to be able to watch our video about blogging and the next day hop out there and have this big, beautiful blog. What you need to understand is social media platforms take a lot of self-learning, I guess, for the best term. We really can't teach you everything we know. We can't teach you everything we don't know because we don't know most of it ourselves. All of us have been started dabbling and kind of, I guess, grew up into social media by doing a ton of learning, a ton of research, a ton of Googling. Google is all of our best friends. And we've also all paid to take training. Some of us have paid people to help us in our business with some of these platforms, paid the experts, because I don't have time to be the expert. I'm the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I can teach people how to stamp. Now that said, I guess I just want to set the tone for all of these upcoming videos that we're doing where we're going to touch on each platform. They're meant to give you an intro, and they're also meant to give you an intro from each of our perspectives. The next video you get, I'm going to be talking about Facebook. It's going to be my perspective. It's going to be my knowledge, my thoughts about it. The same with when we get to the video, Sharon's going to be doing YouTube. Again, she's going to share what she knows, her thought, her strategies, and again, enough to make you decide if it's something you want to do, and then kind of point you in directions as to where you're going to learn more. So I guess I just want to set the expectations here. We're going to share what we know in a sweet, short, simple video, hopefully to give you enough knowledge to jump out and dive in. Now, I always tell people with social media, and when I say social media, I'm really kind of talking newsletters, Facebook, Pinterest, blogging. What did I miss? Blogging, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, and email newsletters. So kind of those 5 areas. I recommend, and this is what I did when I started online, pick one, set it up, research it, study it, learn how to use it, and then begin using it consistently. Because you'll hear us all talk about consistency. If you're not going to be consistent, don't even bother. But then once you get that one up and running and you're consistent, you understand it, then move into the next one, because you possibly can't do all of them at once. Myself personally, I started with Facebook. And so that's why the first video you're going to get after this video is going to be about Facebook, because I think that's a good place to start. So Now, again, with all of these, they really are all intertwined, I guess, in many ways is a good way to put it. And you can cross post on everything. Like Pinterest, you don't really want to pin Pinterest if you don't have a place for those pins to lead to. You know, we all search Pinterest and what do? We find something we like, we click on it, and it takes us to where we can find out more information. So again, you can't really be pinning your projects unless you have, say, a Facebook or a blog or YouTube or some place for them to go see the details on those projects. You know, again, YouTube and blogging are very intertwined. All of us that do YouTube videos, we also post those videos on our blog, and we post them on Facebook. And our blog we post on Facebook. And Pinterest, I mean, I pin from YouTube, I pin from my blog. It's all intertwined. But start with one and then grow it. Now, the other thing before I dive into what I want to talk about is if you are coming to this video series and your mindset is, I want to start an online business. I want to be an online demonstrator. Okay, that's awesome. But we also need you to understand how much work it takes. Honestly, to me, being an online demonstrator was way harder. I spent way more time than I did back when I did all in-person events. But I love it and it fits my lifestyle. And I think everybody, a part of the Creative 8 team, will say the same thing. So it's a choice. And for me, I was completely live in-person events. And then I started dabbling in social media and online, kind of got everything up and running, got consistent on everything with my hands in both before I kind of let go of my in-person events and went totally online. So the other thing is, and I have demonstrators come to me all the time with this question, and they will say, I need to start a blog. I need to start doing videos. I need to be online. Can you help me? My first response to that question is, why do you need to have a blog? Why do you need to be online? And 9 times out of 10, they say, because I have to. Well, why do you have to? Because everybody else is. And I disagree with that theory completely. I still believe in-person, face-to-face live events now kind of take COVID out of the picture a little bit right now, because this is kind of changing a little bit of it, but you'll get what I'm saying here. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to have a blog, have a YouTube, have all of this stuff. If you are doing face-to-face events, or you have customers that maybe you're doing face-to-face and now you're kind of doing Facebook Lives or Zoom or whatever, you need to have a purpose. Don't just start a blog because you think you have to have a blog because everybody else has a blog. That's not necessarily the case, okay? So with all of these social media platforms, make sure if you're going to start using them and dive into them, you have a purpose, you have a goal in mind, and you're committed to them, because they all take time and they all take consistency, or dabbling in a little bit that you do, it's not really going to get you anything. For myself personally, when I started doing videos and blogging, it took me probably a year and a half before I ever got an order from someone I didn't know, from someone that found me online. Now that was a year and a half of hard work, but in the long haul, it's paid off. And that's where, it's kind of good to balance and have both of them until you can completely move to the other. So that's kind of my introduction to social media. So I want to make sure your expectations are not that you're going to walk away from each one of these videos being the expert to do everything. I hope it helps you make the decision if those are platforms that you want to work on, give you a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of basics, point you in some directions, and then you become a self-learner, self-researcher, make Google your best friend. And if you want to or need to or have the means to, there are people out there that do this as experts for a living and can help as well. So today, this video, besides kind of the intro stuff I want to talk about newsletters, watermarking, and graphics. Now, again, remember, this is Jackie's opinion, Jackie's kind of business strategy, I guess I'll say. So the other CT people, Creative 8 team, sorry, may have different opinions, but that's okay. So that's the beauty of this. So you get to learn from me. And if you have questions about anything I say, please reach out to me or reach out to your Creative 8 team leader, and we're happy to help you with all of these different areas. Now, newsletters. I am a firm believer, firm believer in emailing a newsletter or emailing our customers. It is our way that we stay personally in touch with them. If you think about an email, if you're my customer, when I send you an email, I am sending it directly to you versus having a blog, and I'm basically expecting you to go to my blog to find the information. See the difference? Is whether I'm putting it in your hands or you're going to seek it out. Now, everything I do since probably the beginning of the internet and really starting to do stuff on the computer is gathering email addresses for my email newsletter. And you can do that many different ways. But to me, when a customer or a future customer or a person gives me their email address, they're basically saying to me, you can email me. You can send me specials. You can send me promotions. You can send me information about joining Stampin' Up. So I kind of take that as, okay, I have your email address. You're now on my email list, and I will email these things out to you. You want to keep your customers informed. You want them to know what's happening. You don't want them to be out there just finding it on the internet, especially in these days where the internet's so prevalent. And we know everybody's on the computer, everybody's out there watching YouTube, following different blogs and so forth. You don't want your customers to find out about specials from somebody else online. So the email newsletter, and we're kind of lumping this into social media, is probably your biggest best friend when it comes to social media, because we're kind of lumping that in there for you to stay in touch with your customers, whether you're in person or online. Now, there's lots of different ways to do emails and newsletters, and this becomes a personal preference, a personal choice. There's a lot of email services, I guess we'll call it, I don't know what the correct term is, that, and I believe every one of us on the Creative 8 team use one of these. Again, it's a paid service. If you're building a Stampin' Up business, sometimes you got to pay for things. Well, I use Constant Contact. So you may have heard that. I know there's something monkey. Oh, I can't think of what that one's called. Aweber is another one. There's several different ones out there. You can Google email services, but I've used Constant Contact since the internet kind of began. But basically, when you use a service like this, you are able to create customer lists. You can divide them however you want, and then you create emails and you tell it what list to send them to. So for instance, in my Constant Contact, I have a list of all my demonstrators. I have a list of all my customers. Each month I'll have a list of like all my customers that bought in July. Now I'm working on a list of all my customers that bought in August. And so then I can create emails and just send it to, whatever group I want. And so when I think of emails, we're going to kind of break this down a couple of different ways. And I'm just sharing what I do. I send a thank you to every single customer as they place an order. And I try to get those out as quick as possible. Now with using Constant Contact, one thing that's super helpful, it makes it super easy for me, is I just set up a list that, like right now, there's a list that says August 2020 orders. So as soon as an order comes through, I can take my customer's email address, put it into that list, and I have an automated email. Yep, within Constant Contact, they can automate it. So I have an email, it's automated, that basically says, thank you for placing an order, blah, 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 all the stuff you want to tell your customer. And so as soon as I put that person into that email list, that automatic email goes right out to them. I don't have to send it. So if I get an order today, copy the email address, paste it into that list. That's all I have to do. And that email, that thank you email goes out instantly. Super easy peasy. So automated emails are like the bomb. I use them all the time. And again, I could be here for 5 hours teaching you how to do that, but Constant Contact has great training videos and they teach you how to do it if that's a service you subscribe to. But automation is awesome. Another way I use it is like with my new demonstrators, I have a series of emails that I send out to them. I don't know how many are in there, 6 or 7. And so there again too, I get a new demonstrator. I've set the emails up. I wrote all 7 emails. I have them all set up and scheduled. So now I get a new demonstrator. I take the email address. I put it into the new demonstrator email list. The first email goes out immediately. A couple days later, the second one goes out. The third one goes out. The fourth one goes out. I don't have to do a single thing. And so I kind of share that that's one of the values of paying for an email subscription type service like what I have, like Constant Contact. Now, back to just emails in general for our customers. And this is something, if you are just starting out, you don't have very many customers, you can do from your regular email as well. But as your business grows, you really are going to want to go through a service, because you can't really send like a mass email to, and I don't know the numbers, I'm just going to pull a number out of my head, but like say 30 email addresses at a time, because it's going to be flagged as spam. That's another benefit of using one of these services. Now, I feel like I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but with these services too, go out there and research them, because I know some of them have it's free, or a free trial, or free up to so many subscribers and so forth. But so it helps with spam. It helps make pretty emails. If any of you have ever gotten my emails, whether you're a demonstrator or a customer or whatever, you'll see I've got pretty graphics, I've got pretty headings, I've got, it looks like an email from a business, as opposed to just coming from my Gmail, hi, how are you, blah, 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 in a typed email. So that's another advantage there. Now, back to the emails. I try, it's on my to-do list, it's my goal, but it is to send an email every single week to my customers. It's my way of keeping them in the know. Each week it's probably the same that it was last week, if nothing's changed, other than I put a couple of card samples and ideas in there. Now, Stampin' Up! Makes it really easy for us, because we can share stuff that they're giving us. They give us graphics. They, now with these bundle focuses, man, my email that I sent out today, I use the Nothing's Better Than bundle focus, the photos, the tutorial. I sent them a free tutorial from the bundle focus. So that's really helped make my job easier. So put value in that when you email your customers, so that they don't like, I'm not reading this anymore, there's nothing good in here. So share ideas, share tutorials with them, but keep them in the know. Like this month, every single week, don't forget to cash in your bonus days coupons. When we earned bonus day coupons back in July, every week, it was, you get a bonus day coupon when you order. Right now I have information about the upcoming Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So customers want to know, and again, this brings me back to what I said at the beginning, you want them to hear from you, not hear from a website they follow, or a blog they follow, or a YouTube they follow. So keep them in the know. To me, a newsletter is priceless. Those of you that have a team, if you have demonstrators under you, I think a newsletter to your team is just as important. Again, I try, I fail, but my goal is to email my team every single week. There again, keep them in the know. Keep all the important information at their fingertips, so they know what's happening, what's going on, what's coming. So when you use a service like Constant Contact or one of those other ones, it just makes it really easy. That customer newsletter, every week, I just go and I copy the one I sent last week, change a few things, maybe move this up there, that down there, so it looks different. But a lot of the information is the same. Change it, write it. It honestly, I bet you each week it takes me no more than 10 minutes to write that email newsletter and get it out to all of my customers. And that is a super valuable thing. So when we talk social media, again, Jackie's opinion, an email newsletter, even though it's probably not really social media, is probably the #1 thing I want you to look at doing, okay? So, that was a lot of information, a lot of talking. I hope that kind of gets you thinking. Now, and again, all these other things, funnel is a common terminology in the business world these days. Everything else you should do should become a funnel to get people on your newsletter. Get them to sign up for your newsletter. And there's all kinds of ways to do that. If you're a blog, you should have a, Click here to sign up for my newsletter. Facebook, click here to sign up for my newsletter. Drive them to sign up for your newsletter, because that's when you can just get information directly into their hands. Okay, now the other couple of things I want to talk about in this kickoff week is watermarks and graphics, which kind of blend hand in hand. So watermarks. This is, I think we've talked about this before, but a watermark, and what I'm talking about is when you see a photo, like if you look at my blog, you'll see my pictures and you'll have my name on them or you'll have something on them. A watermark, I believe, is super critical for anything you're posting, whether it's a newsletter, your Facebook, Pinterest, a blog, wherever. You want your name on it, because in today's world of the internet, anything you post is going all over the place. It's subject to anybody and everybody seeing it. And you want whoever sees that and wherever they see it to know it came from you. Again, drive them to you. So for me, all my watermarks have my blog address on it, my name and my blog address, because if they see that graphic, photo, sample, whatever it is, at least that way, if they want to find out more information, they could potentially end up on my blog. The other thing, and I hate talking about this because it's kind of a negative thing, but it happens all the time, is people, demonstrators, they will take pictures that other demonstrators posted. And if you post something and you don't have a watermark on it, demonstrators will take that picture, whether they take it off Pinterest, your blog, your Facebook, wherever, and they will post it on their blog or their Facebook. Quite often they even take that picture and they put their name on it if you didn't have a name on it before. So that's another thing. When you put a watermark on something you've posted, it's protecting it. It's protecting it that it came from you. You know, when we Creativate, we share a lot of things with you, tutorials with you during the retreats, all this stuff. We share things for you, and we give you permission to use our ideas. If we give you a tutorial, we'll say, you know, you can use this in your online, not online, ooh, said that wrong, in your in-person events. But we also say, please do not post these projects anywhere online, because we're trying to protect, there are projects and we're posting them for our customers as well. Likewise, if we ever post a photo in either Creativate Live or even any of us team leaders, we post it in our groups, please don't just take that picture and, you know, it's really easy to drag it to your computer and then you post it someplace else. It's not your photo. So, and I kind of use us as an example, but it happens all the time. I see people that go on to Demonstrator Planning Place, and they will, I mean, people are posting lots of photos on there. If you're posting yours, make sure your name's on it, because a lot of people don't have their name on it. And then I see those pictures showing up on other people's Facebooks. That you shouldn't be doing that. But what we're talking about here more is protecting your photos by putting your watermark on it. Now, again, there's a bazillion different ways to put a watermark on things. Personally, I use PicMonkey. It is an easy to use program. It used to be free. I believe now you do have to pay for it, but I use it for all my watermarking and I use it for all of my graphics. It's super easy. Canva is another one that I believe works very similar. And again, I'm not sure if that's free or not, but like with a watermark, you simply create your watermark in PicMonkey. And I'm going to flip to a screen share here and I'll show you how I do it. And then you save that and you can easily add it to any photo. So it's a beautiful thing. Once you've created it, it's easy peasy. And I can just add that to anything that I share any place online. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to flip over to a screen share here so that I can show you my screen, and we're going to dive into PicMonkey and show you how to do a watermark and just a little bit about doing graphics. So again, there's other options. This is the option I use. If it's something that you're interested in using, I suggest go check out PicMonkey, check out Canva, check out other things, but this is kind of to give you an intro to some of the stuff that's out there. So let's go ahead and go to screen share and I will be right back with you. So I am signed in here to my PicMonkey account. And I have a ton of stuff in here. I've been using PicMonkey for years and years and years. So you're gonna see a bunch of graphics that I've created. I probably need to clean some of this stuff out. But what I wanna do is just go through how you can easily create a watermark in PicMonkey and then how to add it to your photos. Now, again, this is PicMonkey. I believe there's a small fee to use it. You know, you need to check that out. I don't know for sure, but otherwise there's very similar programs, okay? So with PicMonkey, I'm gonna just create a new graphic and we're gonna use what's called a blank canvas. Now, PicMonkey, what I love about PicMonkey, it has so many different sizes in here. So if you're gonna do a Facebook post or a Pinterest graphic, there's Pinterest, there's all these other ones on here. So you can start with that. But actually for the watermark, it does not matter what size. I just need what I call as a blank canvas, which is what you're gonna see here. So now for your watermark, most often it's just text. You can create whatever you want. Okay, if you want a little image in it, you can certainly do that as well. So this is how easy it is. All I need to do is click on text, add text. I get my text box here, and for my watermark, we're gonna just put my name and we'll put my website on here. Again, you know, when I was creating my original watermark, I kind of looked around, what are other people doing, and kind of designed something that was unique to me and that I liked. So get an idea what you want to do. And then we can play with this. If I click on my box here, I can highlight part of it and I can come over here and I can change to whatever font I want. So we'll kind of make my name a little scripty. And then I want this part. I kind of like that, but I can make that part smaller, and you can play around with these editing, very similar to using like Word, Microsoft Word or something else, a lot of the same symbols, but you can play around with this text all you want. You know, we could even add more text on here. Let's even go up here, and I could do created by, and again, why don't we put this to that same text, make it smaller, and we can kind of put it there. You know what, let's make my name bigger. Okay, so I can play around all I want. Now maybe I want to add, let's add a little heart on here. So I can come over here to graphics, this one, search graphics. So I can search for a heart. That's kind of a cool heart. So we could add that. Now you can change, I want to make this black for right now, I think, because I want everything to be the same. So we can add, let's see, should we add a heart like so? Whatever you want to do to create your watermark. So we're just going to go with this. This is going to be the watermark I'm creating. So after I've done this on my blank canvas, which this whole thing's called a blank canvas, I can come over here to edit and crop it. Now remember guys, this is not intended to give you a total PicMonkey tutorial. It's more about showing you how easy it is to create, and then we're going to use our watermark. Again, if you do decide to do PicMonkey, they have a ton of their own training videos. Canva does, and anything else, you know, you can find training videos for all these different services, but it's more to give you kind of an overview how some of this stuff works. So we've cropped it. Now, what's really important, and this is going to be the case in any program, it might just happen a little bit differently, is with a watermark, you need it to be a transparent background, because the way this is set up right now, if I was to add this to a picture, it would be this white square. My background's white with black type on it. So we need to change that background to be transparent. And in PicMonkey, you simply click on background color, open the palette, and we're going to replace that. If I try to pick a color here, you'll see right there it says transparent. and we're going to add that. Now, transparent backgrounds, no matter what program, should look the same, where it's these little gray squares. That means when I add this to something, you're only seeing my text. You're not going to see that background. So that is critical. That's the most important thing with creating a watermark, is that you have a transparent background. So now I have done that. If I want to name that, I just name it up here. Let's see, we're gonna call this watermark. And then right over here, it says download, and I want its PNG image. I think you could do PNG or JPEG. I don't know that it really matters. I guess we'll find out when we try to use this. And click download. Now, every computer is different. I've downloaded it to my computer. So wherever on your computer things go when you download them, that's where it's going to be. But so now I've created my watermark. Now, if I want to take a photo and edit it a little bit, add my watermark so I can put it on Facebook, I'm going to, again, do create new, and I'm going to just edit an image. So this is where I need to go to my computer. And again, I'm not teaching anything about computers. And I'm going to grab this. This is actually a photo from, oh, that's one I did already. We don't want that one because I already have a watermark on there. Let's find an image with no watermarks. Let's see what this is. There we go. So here's a photo I took. Now, when I'm in here editing it, I'm going to edit my photo and do the watermark. So the first thing I want to do on this, let's crop this. You can see that. So edit your photo how you want to do. I mean, I can do exposure. You guys, you want some nice, crisp, clean, bright images so that they pop when you post them. Get your image how you want it. And now I'm ready to add my watermark. So all I need to do is add an image. Remember, a watermark is like any other image, and it's on my computer. Now I need to know where on my computer it is. And I click on it, and you will see, and this is that transparent background. Okay, so the only thing you see is the text. We decide where we're going to put it. And I created this in black, but what's really cool is I can come up here to change the color of it, and I can change it to white. So now, depending where I want to put it, there we go. Hey, I kind of like that watermark. I might use that on some stuff. But there, you can go, that's how you create a watermark. I can, size it however I want to size it. I can move it around, place it wherever I want it, change the color to however I want it. But now I feel comfortable posting this picture someplace online and my name's on it. Because if I didn't do that and I just put this out on Facebook, chances are people are going to take it off my Facebook and they're going to post it as if it's their picture. So that's how you create a watermark. It also, as I kind of went through here, I showed you how I edit my pictures. PicMonkey is just super easy to use. And like I said, they have tons of tutorials in here. I use PicMonkey for all my graphics, anything I post. So for instance, I was working on something earlier, and we can go in here again. We're going to edit a new image, and you can drag it or take it from there. But like, here's an image from Stampin' Up. Okay, I use Stampin' Up images all the time, but I don't want to post this that says contact me for details. I want my information on there. So I'm going to do a little bit of editing to make this graphic my own. So what I might want to do on this one is we can go ahead and we can add a box. I'm going to get rid of this contact me for details. And I kind of like the color it is though. So my box, we can come over here. This little eyedropper is called a color picker. And I can change the color. And now we're going to put this box right there, just like so. I've covered up that contact me, and then I can add text. And I can say, I can just put my website address here if I want to. Can't even type today. So, but now this graphic, I'm just trying to resize it to fit my box here. There we go. Now, if I'm going to post this graphic, it's me. It identifies me on it. You know, maybe I want to make this box a little bit bigger and I don't like that color. Let's say we want it to be, you know, kind of match this blue. Again, we can come over here and let's just change it to that. And then we could, for our text, we could actually just do something like order at klompenstampers.com. But that's how you can personalize graphics. You know, Stampin' Up! Puts out a lot of graphics for us. You can get them through your DBWS if you're a subscriber or off the regular demonstrator website. But all of those graphics, if you're going to post them someplace, bring it back to you. Identify yourself in them by adding something. Even the pictures, you know, and this, again, I told you I have so much stuff here in mine. But you can see here, this is a picture, and I've edited this. This was a picture from the shareables, what Stampin' Up! Shared with us, the bundle focus stuff. And I added, again, one of my watermarks to it. So now my name's on it. So when I share this, it has my name on it. You know, one of the confusing things about watermark, and I've been in many discussions about this, unless you specifically say in your watermark, created by, a watermark isn't necessarily saying I made this. Okay, this just has my name and my website on it. So again, if this picture shows up someplace, it's connected back to me, because every single demonstrator has access to this exact same image. So different demonstrators are posting at different places. So that just allows you to connect it to them. You know, some of the other cool things in PicMonkey is they do give you templates. They give you all kinds of graphics that you can use these, you can change them, you can edit them, you can add words to them. So you can do a lot of personalized things on this. The biggest thing I use, well, one of the big things I use is the size, the blank Pinterest pin. And I'm sure Brandy will talk to you about Pinterest pins, but Pinterest likes this size, the 1000 by 1500. So when I create my graphics that I'm going to post on Pinterest, I'll use PicMonkey to size it down. But the whole goal of what I wanted to share with you guys today is watermarks, show you how easy it is to create one in PicMonkey, or other programs are going to be similar, as well as a little bit about talking about graphics and making them your own. You know, there's other ways of watermarking your photos. I know there's other programs that are solely for watermarking. Many of you may use them. That is entirely up to you. Like I said, my little talk today isn't to give you every option there is for watermarking, because there's a million out there. I just want to share what I do and how I do it. I'm all about keeping things simple, but also just to kind of try to make you understand how important watermarking your photos really is. It does make a difference. So I hope this has been helpful. We covered a lot. I think this video got way longer than I anticipated. We talked about emails, we've talked about watermarks, we've talked about graphics. All of this stuff's good. Well, the watermarks and graphics is going to kind of tie into the other videos that are going to be part of the social media series we're doing. So you'll get a video on YouTube, on blogging, on Facebook, and on, Pinterest. So again, it's enough to whet your appetite. It's enough for you to make a decision on these different social media platforms if it's something that you want to dive into, and then kind of give you a little bit of knowledge to start learning, seek out information, research. And, you know, I'm here to tell you that an online business, although it's not easy, it's been awesome. It's fit my lifestyle, but it's taken a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. You do not gain customers overnight, but it's the consistency of constantly posting things. It's a very viable business model. So guys, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will try to watch the comments for a while. And otherwise, any questions, to reach out to myself or any of the Creative 8 team leaders. We're all here to help you. So we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.